Lewis and I have had for a year, maybe, oh my gosh, maybe 2.5 years at this point. We meet every other week to talk about various health scenarios within our lives and in the lives of the individuals in which we love. And so we wanted to take this conversation to the stage to share with you the importance of the collaborative of living a healthy life and what that really means, not only just for yourself as a woman, but in conjunction with the other people in your lives, spouses, brothers, nephews, etc., and that it is a group affair. So I want to make sure that my dear friend introduces or reintroduces himself, and then shares what he's up to and the importance of the work that he's doing. Thank you.
So, as I said, Louis Bezich, men's health advocate, contributing writer to PhillyVoice.com, and, of course, the author of Crack the Code, 10 Proven Secrets That Motivate Healthy Behavior and Inspire Fulfillment in Men Over 50.
For 50.
How are you?
How are you? I mean, and it's real. And when we began this journey together, I can't tell you the amount of aha moments that happened, not only for the loved ones in our lives, but also for myself every time that we talk. I am still very lucky to be in the sandwich generation, where I'm blessed to have you met my mother at the entrance. I know you did. Again, she shakes you down like TSA. Like, who are you? What do you need? Right in that space. And my father as well, she'll kill me, both 78 years old. You don't tell, but both 78 years old. And then, I have a brother that I love, a husband that I love, and this health journey is a cooperative, right? It's very hard to be healthy if those in your life are keeping unhealthy habits, right? It's very hard to be positive if those in your life are not so positive, if not negative, in that space. And so I wanted to have an open conversation, not only with remarkable women, but with a few brave men, that will allow for us to really talk about what that looks like and feels like. And I know that a lot of your work is with men over 50. And what are some of the things that you found as it relates to relationships and the health of those gentlemen?
Well, and let me just preface my statement by saying, while my focus is on men over 50,
sure.
The learnings from those guys, because why did I focus on men over 50? One, because I was a guy over 50. And
enough.
Two, it's really the toughest cohort. You'd think that when a guy hits 50, he'd say to himself, I'm in what I call the second half of the game of life.
Yeah.
I've got all these things to look forward to, in this second encore careers, retirement, travel, whatever it might be. And so I might want to take care of myself. Right? So I can enjoy all those things that life has to offer.
Yeah.
But do men do that?
No.
No,
not
we
at
do
all.
just the opposite.
Right.
We neglect our health. We become very sedentary. And of course, unfortunately, we die younger than women and have more chronic disease in women.
For sure.
So by looking at gentlemen in that age range that do lead a healthy lifestyle, yes, there are. I surveyed 1,000 of them nationwide to find out their secrets and their motivations. We've got a lot of things that we can learn, and unfortunately now, sometimes as we see, rates of cancer are increasing in 30-year-olds, that those things that we've learned can really apply to all generations. So,
I love that.
So why did I do it? Well, relationships are key. I mean, one of the most preeminent studies in men's health is called the Harvard study on adult development. For over 80 years, they've been tracking men. They're on the third generation of men that they're tracking. And the bottom line is that there's a connection between healthiness and happiness.
Yes.
Who'd have thought, right? Hello.
And
so it's all about, finding happiness, and that in that happiness comes your motivation to live healthy. And you find your purpose, of course, and your motivation. So that's what Crack the Code is really all about. It's not about this diet versus that diet or this exercise program. It's about motivation and where it comes from.
Right.
Because in my life, that's what really triggered the motivation to write the book in the first place.
Right.
I found that, when I was a young man and I was a single dad for a number of years, and, my motivation was to take care of my two sons that were living with me and pursue my career and all this kind of stuff. And I found that, exercise initially was like my antidote. It sort of calmed me down and helped me focus and just stay, on the track of taking care of those kids and building the career. And then ultimately, what started as a coping mechanism became a lifestyle. And then when I got into healthcare about 12 years ago, I learned oh my goodness, number one, as a population, we don't really live a healthy lifestyle. Only 3% of Americans, men and women alike, live a healthy lifestyle.
Only how many?
3%. 3.
Doesn't sound good.
No,
that
it's
doesn't
not good.
sound yummy.
And then
3%.
within that, the worst cohort is the guys over 50. So that's what sort of got me down the track. But the things I've learned and the articles I've written for Philly Voice over the last couple years have really honed my focus. And I think there's so much that life can has available to us.
For sure.
And diet and exercise is important, but there's other things as well.
There's other things. And when we talk about, on these bi-weekly conversations is how can we utilize these relationships and where it becomes a group affair. It's very hard when you have a goal of being, healthy and getting moving when your partner isn't necessarily as motivated to do so. This conversation is really, okay, not only what are we doing to be able to take care of ourselves, but what collectively can we do to create environments that are healthy for ourselves? Are we living in environments that can create a healthy way for us to live and communicate? And what are the types of activities which may seem simplistic in nature, but what can we do to be, as a unit, as a family unit, whatever that family unit looks like, to stay active and stay moving, as Megan has shown us, to get closer to living a healthier life. And so if you could provide some suggestions and maybe things in which you've done with your family, whether they're traditional kind of exercise for sake kind of stuff or experiential that you've participated in that has lended to more of a healthy lifestyle.
Well, the first message is that women play an incredibly important role in the health of men.
Yes, we do.
I can't say that enough.
Yes,
right?
we do.
I characterize men's health as a team sport and women as the most valuable players in that team sport, right?
Right, true.
Who makes all the appointments at the doctor?
I mean, please.
And
you're
so
exhausted.
and so on, right? So that's it's really important to recognize you play. Now, I don't mean to take men off the hook.
For sure.
They bear responsibility. They need to, buck up. But one of the things that that women can do, number one, is to work with guys in terms of getting rid of, because this is one of the biggest problems that men have, is it's 2023, right?
Yeah.
And we're still living like cavemen, like Neanderthals. Like, I will, I'm 62 or whatever, I'm 59, and I don't need to see a doctor.
I don't need to see a doctor.
I'm fine. An annual checkup? Nah. That's
fine.
Unmanly.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Baloney. Hello.
Baloney.
It's
true. It's true. And not really saying, I think that the art of pulling, and in various generations and various cultures, the art, and I've talked to a number of you about this, the art of pulling out information, especially health information from various cultures and various age groups is difficult, right? To have the conversation and have somebody, a mature person, be like, I'm fine, right? But you're limping. It's okay. I'll just use the other leg. Oh, what? For how long? How long have you been hurting, right? And by the time that you see that pain, that means in most cases they've been suffering with it for far too long, right? By the time you notice it, that means it's been going on for way longer in essence. And so one of the things that you have always talked about is the art of communicating, right? We're talking about how do we have these healthy conversations about health? How do we have those conversations with colleagues, with friends, with family that will provoke people to say, when was the last time you went to the doctor, right? Why are you limping?
Exactly,
right.
Exactly. Well, that's where, obviously the other advantage that women have over men is that you're more conversive, right? You're more apt to engage in conversation. Another one, hello. So probe. And now the key is here, the experts will tell you, nudge, don't
They're
wallop.
Fine.
Don't wallop. It's on. You're used to dealing with children, a lot of you. So it's not far from that. So because you don't want to push too hard, and then they get turned
Chris
off.
Rumor, poor thing.
But the other thing that's really super important is you can give them their why. One of the key strategies here is to focus on the outcomes. A healthy behavior is a means to an end. The end game is quality time with your grandchildren, quality time on vacations, quality time to pursue an encore career.
Right.
Whatever that motivation is for your guy, that's what you want to focus on because the common denominator to everything is to be healthy enough to pursue and enjoy those
I love that.
things.
I love that. And I think that, for the gentleman in your life in whatever form, your child, your male child, your spouse, your partner, your nephew, your uncle, in that space it's not about fitting into the genes, right, necessarily. It's about being able to walk through Disney World. It's being able to be in a space, well, not maybe all the time. I mean, Disney World's a whole other meeting. But walking through a space, it's being able to go on the rides, it's being able to participate in this space, it's the quality of life. And I think oftentimes we talk about when we're encouraging anyone in our lives to stay healthy, we're talking about maybe more material things, or we're talking about, maybe you don't want to go to the doctor, you don't want to go to the hospital. But maybe other ways in which we have talked about multiple times is maybe you want to be able to walk them down the aisle for the wedding. Maybe you want to be able to dance at the wedding, right? Maybe you want to be able to go on vacation. And so because how men's health affects us, we know how it affects us, right? And again, Louis, you and I have had these conversations about what my husband is as a patient. When Chris Roomer gets a cold, the whole house gets a cold. Do you remember? Poor baby, poor thing. He'll see it. He knows. He knows well. But ultimately, it's about making sure if the house is healthy, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Then we can all begin to experience these things and through communication and those activities. I want to pat back to because you always have some really great advice, because a lot of times when we talk about this, we're like, I'm not getting pop-up a Peloton. So everybody calm down. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of people think it's a heavy lift. It has to be from going from, reclining to marathons. And so I really want to be able to talk about, not that pop-up reclines, just saying, but I want to talk about the reality of activity, right? That it's not about marathons all the time or them being at Soul Cycle every Tuesday. It's about, talk about some examples of some things we could do as a family in a unit.
Walk around the block once or twice. Let's start with that.
Yeah.
After dinner, before whatever.
Yeah.
Ultimately, if you want to work out together, go to the gym together. All the literature suggests, all the experts will tell you that if you and your partner, your spouse, your buddy, whomever, can do it together, that's why I say it's a team sport. You dramatically increase the chances that you'll sustain that healthy behavior over the long haul.
Yeah.
That's why I say we're in it together.
We're in it
So the
together.
extent to which you can not only provide your guy with the why for doing this, the end results, but help them, give them the means to do it and participate with them.
Yeah.
If you eat healthy, he'll eat healthy.
Yeah.
If you exercise and keep on track, and then you pick each other up.
That's the hope.
Right? You're having a tough day, he picks you up. He's having a tough day, you pick him up. That's how it works.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about you because, as a healthcare professional, you didn't have to do this in your free time, my
That's
friend,
true.
right? And you don't have very much of it, right?
Right.
But this was a mission for you. This was really important for you to be able to not only to share this because you have, I want you to definitely talk about the regular articles in which you write, and then the participation, obviously, with us here at This Is It Network, and then the book. I mean, these are extracurricular activities for an individual who's already quite busy. Why was it important for you to share these messages, to be able to share this knowledge and really put out these bodies of work?
Well, obviously, I want to make a difference, and it's sort of like it's the brotherhood that we want to support here. There is so much to live in life. I have so much to be thankful for. I have so much that I still look forward to, right? I know how old I'm going to be when my grandson graduates from college.
Yeah.
And so that's, I say to people that part of my advice is like, do the math. How old will somebody be when you want to be there, whether it's dancing at the wedding or, it's hard to predict that. But, but, when it's graduation is a great example, so you want to, that's a focal point. That's a goal. That's something to strive for. That gives you the motivation.
Yeah.
So that's part of how, what drives me.
Which I absolutely love. And I know that you're spreading the message. You're doing your best not only to continue to be on stages such as this, but to make sure that people have that necessary information in whatever form. We do a series of different videos / podcasts together. You do the written piece of Philly Voice. Talk to me about that.
Well, Philly Voice I'm incredibly lucky to have that forum twice a month. I publish a piece in Philly Voice on men's health. You can go to phillyvoice.com/Bezich. You'll see it there. It's on my website, 50plusmen.com. But it's a great forum, and we explore all sorts of issues. Frankly, yesterday was published a piece that I just wrote on men who experience hot flashes.
Men hit hot flashes, too. They want to take everything. Take it. You know what? You can take hot flashes for as long as you want. We can give that to them, yes? We can give that. I will write that over to them. Congratulations.
Just to show you how nuanced I get,
I know, right? But it's good.
No, it's true. I
it's
mean, and unfortunately, most of the time, it's a result of treatment for prostate cancer.
Right.
But if you have low testosterone, that can also cause them and other things like that. But that's the point: is that if men's health connects with women,
For
right?
sure.
If
for
men,
sure.
I've written pieces on low testosterone and
Yep.
ED and things like that
Yes.
impose on the relationship.
For sure.
So
for sure.
there's a we call a value in business. We call a value proposition, right? There's
Yeah.
a value proposition for women
Yeah.
to be engaged in men's health.
Yeah.
Now, they are already, but
For
again,
sure.
and you want to keep them. You don't want to. Let men get off the hook.
No,
But,
absolutely not.
There's something in it there. Obviously,
Yeah.
the longer the men live,
Yeah.
all that financial stuff, all the stuff we
Yeah,
talk about.
for sure.
There's a value prop in there.
And again, especially for those of us that are in blissful situations, we want to be able. That affects our health as well. We all, as caregivers, there's probably more caregivers in here than not. Right? Those individuals who are not only in that sandwich generation, but taking care of siblings, taking care of uncles, and what that does to our own health, right? As a caregiver and what that feels like. So it does make so much sense and is such an added benefit in the lives of remarkable women to make sure that those who surround us are also equally healthy. And so we're going to work our best to ensure that we continue to have these conversations with my dear friend Lewis. I want you to get in touch and learn more, especially if you have someone in your life that can benefit from his knowledge and expertise. You can continue to follow, fan, and like, and be able to share your feedback and opinions from the pieces that we do together. But if people want to learn more from you, my darling, if they want to be able to find all of your content, get their hands on your book, where would they find that information?
On social media at Louis Bezich, and of course on my website at 50plusmen.com. You'll see everything that I'm engaged with. You'll see the Philly Voice articles, the podcast, the whole 9 yards. So
I love that. Well, please, a round of applause for my dear friend Lewis.
thank you.
Let's work together to stay healthy. We'll be right back with another panel discussion. Stay tuned.